I'm stood now in the cemetery of Bow Church, a very special church because it's situated in the middle of a main road. Directly behind me is the Bow flyover. Behind that is Stratford Village, a whole new kingdom, a whole new world, which wouldn't be recognisable to people that lived there before. But I have a personal odd love for cemeteries. Call it a weird hobby, if you like, but not just me, a lot of people have a love for cemeteries. The reason for this is because they are a reminder of our past. So not modern cemeteries or modern crematoriums so much, but if I walk into a 17th, 18th, 19th century cemetery, it is exactly like stepping back in time. So this church, or the graveyard, is a perfect example. Here we see the age preserved of London, of England, of Britain, and then just around it we hear and see that bustle of modern life. But when you step into one of these places, you are stepping into a preserved part of history. If I was just down the road at the nearest cemetery in Mile End, it would be the same. Around us you'd hear manic city movements, but inside would be tranquil peace, and you'd be mistaken for believing that you was back in time. And this is the same pretty much all over England. You will get these cemeteries that you walk into, and if you was to close your eyes and reopen them, for a moment you could be in another time, in another world. And that's what I love about old-fashioned cemeteries. Not the fact that there's loads of dead people in it, which is fascinating in itself. There's loads of stories that cemeteries hold, e.g. it's horticulture, it's trees and so on. But it's more so, if I look anywhere else, even old school factories, they've been renovated on, you know. The only thing that I can think of off the top of my head, which is perfectly preserved in an old fashion, is cemeteries. Come with me, cameraman. And as we approach, to the right, modern buses. To the left, a cement mixer drives past. But here, in the centre, is a part of history. And you might think, oh, what a morbid subject, cemeteries, graveyards. But no, it's a stark reminder of the world we've left behind. Look, just over here, look at this little world, which is sitting here, ignored by the world outside it. When I say ignored, it's not quite ignored. This is looked after by the council. This is looked after by Bow Council. Come with me. And it's almost as if they've tried to hide the lack of beauty surrounding the approach to this church with these trees. So we're thinking of making a series on this, or at least a few episodes, to try and help capture some of the most interesting, or some of the interesting cemeteries we're lucky enough to have, and the secrets that they hold, some of the characters that they keep, and you know, also some of the cemeteries that people may not have heard of. During building renovations, sometimes entire cemeteries are discovered, plague pits, for example, are discovered that no one even knew about. But for me, this project, this idea that I'm speaking about, it's not about the morbid fixation on death, but about the changing of life and what was in comparison with what is. Just before we go around the corner, turn all the way around for me, cameraman. All the way around. As you can see, down. That's the statue of Gladstone. I've actually covered that previously when I was doing a documentary on the matchbox strike, the match girl strike of the Bow factory of Bryant and May, which is just over there. Anyway, turn back round for me, cameraman, please. As you can see, it's a slight glimpse of beauty in a place of genuine ugliness. And this is, you know, ultimately I was born near here, this is my home. But as I've said often, it takes more than a house for it to be a home. A home is something completely different. And here we are, look, in the age of tomorrow, just behind this wonderful structure. And theism, religion played such a huge part in our history. It's fascinating, but it's being left by the wayside. Not so much just religion itself, but the parts of it which made it so special throughout our history. And I'm not a theist. I'm not an Abrahamic theist. I don't believe in a deity. But I certainly admire and cherish and would like to see preserved this type of establishment. But come with me. Just behind you, next to you, is the old, the times of before. And I can say endlessly, if the architecture and the capabilities of architects was what it was in these days, why is it now that we've depraved ourselves to build things like that? Come here, cameraman. Really, get this horrific red thing on the left as well whilst you do it. Look, I mean, look, behind there is Stratford. And if we mosey on down with the camera back, here is something with it packed with character. There's no reason that bricklayers, people couldn't be building things like this still. Well, it's okay. Cameraman, just turn around. Many thousands drive and walk past this place every single day. I don't doubt that many of them do respect the fact it is a church, but do they care that it's a historic place for us? I doubt it very much. And very soon, this place will look even more different. Just the other side of the flyover there, which is out of sight, it really is a brand new world. And how long will it be until there's no need to protect places like this? But it really does help highlight the point I was trying to make at the beginning, which is by stepping into a space like this and comparing it with a space like that, you really see how far it's come.